All right, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, Wa'akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Another video through the Spirit, your brother Malak from GMS Detroit. This goddamn Charger's bullshitting me. This video right here, hey, we're going to be dealing with something known as the Battle of Los Angeles, which, you know, if you know your history, you should be familiar with it. Slacky, I'm playing with this Charger. But basically, you know, this is from the other night. I was watching this video. And hey, real quick, all of your time, there's more things to watch on YouTube than rap videos and basketball videos. All right, use your time to learn things, literally. You know, learn breakdowns, learn world history. All right, something I like to do when I get home from work, when I'm eating my dinner, I'll try to watch, you know, some history and find, you know, it'll usually give me inspiration to do a video for the next day. And this is, you know, that's what I did with this video. You know, watching, eating my dinner. This is called the World War II iceberg. And if you don't know, for you YouTube freshmen, an iceberg is a type of a video. When you come across something listed as an iceberg, is where they do deep dives into the history of something. All right, you know, it's an allegory for, you know, the top of the iceberg can appear to be shallow, but when you get deeper into it, you can see how big it is. So there's some of the deep shit that was going on during World War II. And if you didn't know, you had an event known as the Battle of Los Angeles, and we're going to tie it in the scriptures. What is the Battle of Los Angeles? Right, we're gonna, there was a lot going on during World War II. There's a lot of shit going on, right? You know, all the experiments that them goddamn Teamanites was doing. You know, shit going on, just crazy shit. But what is the Battle of Los Angeles, and how does it relate to scriptures? Let's take a look.
Exclusive. Tier 3, Battle of Los Angeles. The Battle of Los Angeles, also known as the Great Los Angeles Air Raid, occurred on the night of February 24th through the 25th, 1942, during World War II. The incident unfolded when unidentified objects were sighted in the skies above Los Angeles, California, prompting widespread fear and confusion among residents and military authorities. In response to the perceived threat, anti-aircraft artillery batteries were mobilized, and a citywide blackout. For several hours, the night sky over Los Angeles was illuminated by searchlights and tracer rounds as anti-aircraft fire was directed at the unidentified objects. Despite intense military activity and multiple reports of sightings, no enemy aircraft were shot down or confirmed to have been present in the area. The incident generated considerable speculation and controversy, with various theories proposed to explain the sightings, including weather balloons, Japanese aircrafts, or extraterrestrial visitors. In the aftermath of the incident, the U.S. military initially attributed the sightings to false alarms triggered by wartime jitters and anxiety. However, conspiracy theories and speculation about the true nature of the objects seen over Los Angeles persisted for decades, fueling debates about the possibility of UFOs and government cover-ups. While the Battle of Los Angeles remains one of the most famous UFO-related incidents in history, official investigations and historical analysis suggest that the objects sighted were likely misidentified aircraft, weather balloons, or other mundane phenomena exacerbated by wartime tensions and confusion.
God damn it.
Fusion.
All right. Yep. Hey, weather balloons don't stay in the air for hours while getting shot at with anti-air guns and flak rounds. All right. What was it, y'all? The Chariots. And interesting enough, y'all, when you look into events like this, whenever there's a major event going on in the earth, what also usually is there? UFO sightings. This is a common theme throughout history. So most likely, what was it? The chariots, y'all. The chariots of Israel. The angels keeping an eye on things and stirred up the fear in Americans. And it's similar to for what's going to happen in today's time when you know the prophecies. As these countries are warring with each other, what's going to happen? Who's going to make their return and resurgence? Yahweh Shai, by way of what? The chariots. And what are people going to do according to prophecy? They're all going to fight. And what's going to happen? They're going to lose. It's a prelude, y'all. Air balloons don't just get shot at and stay there. All right. And decades later, in these 2000s that we live in now, they admitted to the fact that there are things that fly around and they don't know what they are, nor can they control them. So most likely it was the chariots. The chariots was there once with Alexander. The chariots were reportedly there at 70 AD. We read in the Maccabees, we see chariots bustling about in 2nd Maccabees, the 5th chapter, before war. This is a common theme. The Heavenly Father sends his eyes down to survey the world and its inhabitants. Searchlights and anti-aircraft guns comb the sky during alarm. It wasn't no enemy or humane enemy. It was the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So let's get that, y'all. The fact that when these people in the coming prophecy, World War III, as these nations are fighting against each other, who's going to come to their shock and shake things up? 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter. That's prophecy, baby. 2nd Esdras 13 and 6. It says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not." This is Esdras seeing the gigantic chariot that Yahweh Shai would be making an appearance in, right? It was sizable like unto a mountain from one end to the other. He couldn't see where it ended and where it began, right? He was looking around, where did this object come from? Verse 8, all right, the fathership, it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight." Matter of fact, I'm sorry. I could have started up a little bit. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just looking up. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I could have started up around here, but it's all good. Yahweh Shai is returning with the thousands of heaven, and the people down here going to war. You know, they look up to do what? Verse 8, it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests." So as these nations are fighting, when they see the return of the Messiah, they're going to cease from fighting amongst themselves. They were literally in a world war when that event happened back in 1942. And immediately attention is shifted, because everybody down here is going to understand that that is a threat greater than human understanding. And goddamn it, we hate each other, but we need to try to handle that. And these heathen are going to lose miserably. The chariots will turn into dust, right? As we see here. Verse 11, it says, "And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid." So these nations are going to, as World War III is commencing, and we know that the hotbed will be in the Middle East, right? As it tells us in Joel, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. That's where the hot zone gonna be. Everyone's gonna say, "Oh shit," and try to shoot at the angels and the chariots. Try to shoot at Yahweh Shai wherever he makes his. And, you know, we'll see where it's at, where he's gonna first return. You know, we can speculate here and there, but they're gonna try and fight, and they're gonna lose miserably. I'm gonna jump down now, because it retells it. plainly here further down, 2 Esdras 13-30. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. People are not looking for this. Right now, the talks that are going on in the world, right? Gaza, the land of Israel, immigration, Europe, South Africa. Everyone is concerned with worldly governmental issues. Nobody's thinking about intergalactic invasion. Now, the elite of Edom, they know it's coming because it's biblical prophecy, but the average person does not. These average soldiers, even the ones of them who are in the Space Force, they might not fully understand what they're going to be up against. So when they see these alien things, alien meaning foreign, they're going to be completely amazed and in fear. Just like these sons of bitches were back in 1942, the Battle of Los Angeles, in which they made a movie with this title, and this is horribly loosely based. But this is, and growing up in the world, y'all, you learn about things like this and you don't have an answer. But now in this truth, y'all, we have an answer. We know most likely what this was. The chariots flexing their muscle, and this ain't the first time that the chariots have showed up and scared modern day militaries. There's been several events where nuclear codes get set off somehow. The chariots fly over. There's a famous incident, fly over the base, set it up to where the nuke is about to go off, then it stops at last second, right? There's a famous incident where a pilot, an old Edomite, he's given his account. He said he saw black men. The woman said dark. He said no, black. He said he saw dark-skinned men pop out the cut. So we know what it is, and this is our salvation. And this to the heathen is fear, because this represents the end of their kingdom. I can't wait, y'all. Because when we look up and see it, that's it. God damn it, that's it. Verse 31, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. So everyone's going to be fighting against themselves, the nations down here in World War III, right? The elite trying to establish the NWO, the several nations who are against it, Russia, right? His confederates, certain of the Hamite nations, certain, Elam, right? By way of the Persians, Iran, right? Everybody's going to be down here squabbling, and then they're all going to turn their attention to our Lord Yahushua and the angels. It says, and the elect, right? When the elect are raised up, it says, and the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before. Then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting, but he shall stand upon the top of Mount Sion. All right, and as we just learned in the previous verses, he's going to destroy them utterly. So World War III, the victory will go to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai in the end of it all. All right, let me get another one out of Revelation. Revelation 12 and what? And there, Revelation 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. So the United States, the U.S. and the beast system, right? The NWO Army, however that's going to look, is going to fight against the angels and the chariots, utilizing aerodynamic, or should I say aircraft, right? Jets, fighter jets, whatever, technologies they have in the cut that they're going to release. They're going to literally fight against the angels. They're going to try to fight against Yahushua. They're going to try to fight against Michael. And it tells you that they're going to lose. Verse 8, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. So they're going to lose, y'all. Contrary to what we see in these Hollywood movies. Here it is, with Will Smith, you have a whole fucking, the aliens got shields you can't penetrate. Goddamn, speaking a language you can't understand, but some way, somehow, the good old American, tough, trusted white man, or even a nigga coon who they hire finds a way to decipher the language, get through the force field. No, that's not reality. You ain't shooting down a single angel. We're not taking a single casualty. Not a single angel's gonna fall. The beast system and his armies will fall. America's not gonna win this one, y'all. They're gonna lose. And this is what we're looking for, truly. These guns ain't gonna mean nothing no more. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to show them what true power is. And this is great. And this Battle of Los Angeles thing, you know, it was a prelude. It goes to the Heavenly Father was reminding man of his little self. Because World War II, you know, it ended with America doing, you know, dropping that bomb, right? So, you know, man was down here feeling they self, right? But oftentimes, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai likes to remind us of who truly is in charge when unexplainable, strange events happen in our world. And let me get that one that I this ain't gonna be a long video, but let me get that one I quoted out of 2nd Maccabees, y'all. There's many a times when we were about to go to war, or the heathen were going to come up against us, and we would pray for a sign. Lord, deliver us. Lord, somehow be with us. And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai would send us a sign, y'all, that he was going to deliver us. And quite literally, you had angels come down and help Israelite men in battle, notably David, notably Judas Maccabeus, right? The Spirit hopped on men to do great things. And this time, y'all, in today's world, it's going to happen again. 2nd Maccabees 5:1. And about the same time, Antiochus prepared his second voyage into Egypt. And then it happened that through all the city, for the space of 40 days, there were seen horsemen running in the air in cloth of gold and armed with lances like a band of soldiers, and troops of horsemen in array. Make this turn. It says, encountering and running against another with shaking of shields and multitude of pikes, and drawing of swords and casting of darts, and glittering of golden ornaments, and harness of all sorts. Wherefore every man prayed that apparition might turn to good, right? That apparition. So the Israelites, obviously, we understand that it was a sign to the Lord, seeing the angels, you know, flying around in the air, you know, holding a mock battle, if you will, right? The chariots doing maneuvers, light shows, which, you know, brothers see. There's chariot sightings today. That's why you'll see, you know, certain brothers see chariots more than others, right? You know, you might see a glowing light, a ring of light, right, appearing here and there. We're praying that it turns to our good, to protect us from our enemies when that time comes, and it will, y'all. Michael shall, there was this saying, Daniel, Michael shall stand up for his people. Matter of fact, I'll end on that one, y'all. I'll end on that one, because we just learned what Michael's going to come do out of Revelation. He's going to come fight against Esau, Edom, and his system. And he's going to have to, because these motherfuckers are going to try to get rid of us. So we're going to need good, godly, divine intervention. And it's going to be more than just the Battle of Los Angeles. It's going to be the battle of the earth against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, one realm against another. Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. What is that? Jacob's trouble, when Esau will try to eliminate us. A combination of, you know, famine, martial law, the mark of the beast, all these things being introduced, a complete collapse of the society as this man begins to establish his new world order. Such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Right? And the ultimate leader will be Yahweh Shai over it. But you will have, you best believe, the archangels, Michael being chief of them, helping out as well. This is serious business what we're coming into, y'all. And the heathen it says Jeremiah 10, they're dismayed at the signs of heaven. Jeremiah 10 and 2. That's why they were scared when they saw the chariots. We get happy, they get frightful, because it represents the end of their world and the beginning of ours. All right, so that's it. Let me give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim. Wa Akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom.